Welcome to Rachel Uncensored, one of the few places on the internet that you can find an uncensored version of me. Hello, I'm Rachel, and welcome back to another solo episode. This one was supposed to be with someone else, but I mismanaged my time per usual. So you'll have Abby next week, or Joy next week, and then the other one the week after that. I'll give you what you want. You just got to be patient, all right? But how's everybody doing today? I am doing great. Thank you for asking. Back to me. I've seen so many TikToks about women just reading the conversations they've had with guys. I think Becca Moore just posted a TikTok about POV, you're on a date with a guy before you decide that you're going to delete Twitter, or not Twitter, Tinder, because you give up. And it's all just like, he doesn't ask questions, or he asks a question just so he can answer it and talk about himself more. I don't know how y'all are doing it. I dabbled in the straight dating world for like half a second. I don't know how y'all do it. I do not know. Kudos to you. All right, but should we start with the joke of the day? Here we go. I just looked this up. I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny, lighthearted. Deal with it. Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer? Because she kept running away from the ball. All right. Now I'll move on to what I've learned this week. I actually realized I didn't learn much this week. No, that's false. I learned a lot about Labubu's. Oh, shoot. Next week, I filmed next week's episode already, but it is current to that holiday that is on that day. So I couldn't post it for this episode. Next week, you'll hear all about the drams of my girlfriend getting a fake Labubu. And that was not good. If you watch my Snapchat or my vlog channel, you'll know we have rectified the situation at this point. We have a real Labubu. And in that, I have learned so much about Labubus. And now I'm realizing I need to film these in order, because I rant about things that are current in my life and things are constantly changing. So I need to film these in order. I'll do that from now on. I got you. Or if I don't, I can't talk about anything relevant in my life. But that's no fun. Anyway, I realized I didn't learn anything of value this week, or I did and I completely forgot about it. That happens. I'm not the best with memorizing. I'm a phenomenal puzzle solver. Give me a problem, I will solve it. What is this thing? Something in a problem like Maria? Nobody's got... What is that song? Something in a problem like Maria. I don't know, but I could solve Maria. Don't know if she'd take my advice. So I decided, though, because I didn't learn anything this week, that I would look up a random fact. And I saw that it said, apple pie isn't actually American at all. Color me not shocked. It says the next time you call something as American as apple pie, you might want to consider the fact that neither apple pies nor apples originally came from America. Apples are, in fact, native to Asia, and the first recorded recipe for apple pie was actually written in England. Wow! Shocker that we stole something from someone else and claimed it as my own. Joy just sent me an audio recording? Oh, got it. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I had to be best friend real quick. Anyway, so... the only thing is what is American? Should I Google that? I know we grow corn here, and that's indigenous. Hold on. What food was it hot dog? No, hot dogs are, hold on. Actually, American. Barbecue style, cheesecake, New England clam chowder, and certain types of pie like pecan or pecan, I don't know how you guys want to say it, and pumpkin. Additionally, many dishes like burgers, hot dogs, and pizza, while having international roots, may be significantly adapted and popularized in the U.S. to become staples of American cuisine. So, apple pie isn't even on there, guys. It's not. The internet knows. We don't have anything to our own. We just steal everything from everyone else. Okay, moving on. Speaking of corn, that is something that pisses me off this week. So, I love corn. Oh my God, is it delicious? Let's have it all the time. I've eaten it 4 times in the past 2 weeks. Corn is amazing. But you know what pisses me off? Corn on the cob, eating it from the cob. Now, cook it on the cob and then cut it off. Can we normalize cutting the corn off the cob before it is served? Or just give me a knife and I'll do it. Like, you don't need to be in charge of cutting my corn. I can cut it myself, but give me the option. Why would you want to bite the corn off the cob? It fucks with your teeth the rest of the meal. I cannot eat corn on the cob unless I immediately go brush my teeth afterwards. But you know what happens if I eat it off the cob? Nothing. I don't have to go brush my teeth and floss afterwards because I just get to enjoy the corn. So I get the pleasure of the flavor of the corn, but I don't have to deal with the discomfort of having things jammed between my teeth. It's like little skin flakes between your teeth. It's disgusting. I'll eat it. Listen, if I don't have any other option, I'd rather eat the corn on the cob than not eat the corn at all. But give me a knife. Give me a sharp steak knife so I can cut that corn off that cob and be a happy little camper. I used to be like, oh, too much work. Who cares? Get over yourself. And now I refuse to get over myself. I'm getting under myself, really, because it's annoying. I'm at that phase in my life. I don't have time for annoyances. I don't have time to deal with things that don't need to be dealt with. We don't need to be doing this to ourselves. We could just be enjoying the corn with our teeth gunk-free, people. Oh, my God. And then, you know what? I have one more thing that pisses me off this week. I do. I have another one just shoved up my sleeve because we're going through these pretty quick. I don't know if this happens to everyone, but this happens to me so much. Sometimes I like to gander at the TikTok shop, okay? Whether that be for fun or because of my job. I got to buy things. I got to test products, right? I'm here to entertain the masses, to help you. So when I scroll through TikTok, I feel as though it's every 5 seconds. I'll scroll past a product. I won't even click the product. But then this thing pops up that says, can we ask you for your feedback on this product? And sometimes I accidentally click it because I'm just scrolling. I didn't even look at the product. How could I give you feedback? I didn't look at it. I didn't purchase it. I didn't use it. It is so fucking annoying to the point where if I wasn't searching for things for my job, I would click out. That is a terribly annoying function. What are you doing, TikTok? Get your shit together. It's one thing if you purchase something and you email us and ask for the feedback. That's annoying. But I get that because I've used the product. How am I supposed to give you feedback if I've yet to use it? And why do you think I would want to do that every 5 seconds while I'm trying to browse? You're ruining my window shopping. Oh my God, is that phrase not going to make sense anymore once everything's online and no one shops in person? I feel like that's going to happen. No one's going to shop in person in a few years. It's all online. I mean, most malls are shut down or just extremely depressing. And then I know in 15 to 20 years, they're going to make a comeback because people are going to be like, you know what would be cool is if like you could go somewhere and just get the thing you want that day. Or you could go in person and like try on the clothes before you buy them. It's going to happen. People are going to forget that stores actually existed. Okay. That's all my rant is. I'm done with my ranting. TikTok, fuck off. Corn on the cob. Get off your cob. Get in my mouth, but get off the cob first. Please and thank you. Ridiculous. Just because it comes on a cob doesn't mean that's not how we need to eat it. Home Chef. Home Chef is our sponsor for today. These days, it feels like there's no price difference in eating out versus staying in. And to make matters worse, there are so many unhealthy options out there to sift through. Home Chef can help you save money and eat healthier with their fresh, delicious meal kits delivered straight to your door. Users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. I've done it before. They are easy and delicious. Whether you prefer classic meal kits with pre-portioned ingredients, quick 30-minute recipes, oven-ready options, microwaved meals, or a dedicated family menu, Home Chef has everything you and your entire family needs for hassle-free, delicious dinners. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 50% off and free shipping for your first box plus free desserts for life. Go to homechef.com/Rachel. That's homechef.com/Rachel for 50% off your first box and free desserts for life. That's homechef.com/Rachel, and you must be an active subscriber to receive your free dessert. Moving on. So I've decided to look up, because I want to uncensor women. I want to deep dive on women. People have given me some good suggestions, but I want to make sure I'm not missing anything on my own. So I decided to look up the holidays of the day, because that's a theme I've done on my podcast. Next week, you'll see one. Oh, what is it? Whistleblower Day. And today, well, first I need to go through some of the holidays real quick. It's Lasagna Awareness Month. I didn't know that lasagna needed awareness. I was unaware of the awareness in which they needed. So that's something. I just thought that was weird. There are a lot of weird things, such as horseradish month. Okay, great. Give your nod to horseradish. Lasagna awareness. It's not lasagna month. It's lasagna awareness month. I can hear my dog. I can hear me so barking. Give me a second. Oh, so many distractions today. It was actually the neighbor's dog. Thank God it wasn't one of mine. So many distractions, guys. Anyway, so I went through a bunch of, there's so many holidays, but it is National Ice Cream Month, but specifically National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. So I decided to type in, what have women done for ice cream? I just wanted to know. And turns out a lot. This is an AI overview from Google. It says, women have made significant contributions to the world of ice cream, both through invention and innovation. Because we are smart. Not me, but them. They are. Nancy Johnson invented the first hand-cranked ice cream freezer in 1843. Also, they don't know when ice cream was invented, but apparently it dates back really far. So this is a staple in human life. So she revolutionized the way ice cream was made at home. And then additionally, Agnes B. Marshall, known as Queen of Ices, girl's got a nickname. She did so much they had to give a nod to her. She changed her name because she was so amazing. She didn't legally change it, but that's how she was known. But she developed an ice cream machine in the late 19th century that enabled commercial scale production. Beyond these key inventions, women have also shaped the ice cream landscape through recipe development, business ownership, and popularization of the treat. So Aunt Sally Shad, a black woman credited with inventing ice cream. So they don't quite know, but she was credited with inventing it. She served her frozen dessert to the free black community and gained recognition when First Lady Dolly Madison featured her ice cream at her husband's inaugural ball. Other notable women, several other women have contributed to the ice cream industry, including those who have founded women-owned ice cream brands, developed new flavors and recipes, and even created dairy-free alternatives. Of course, it was a woman that created a dairy-free alternative. The women and the gays. We love our veganism. So I decided to do the deep dive on Nancy Johnson and Angie B. Marshall, two women who had a huge hand in ice cream. And who doesn't like ice cream? It is so good. The soft serve, the hand scooped, the deliciousness of it all. You could put sprinkles, crumbled up cookies. You could syrups, caramels, have it in a bowl, have it in a cone. Do what you want. Ice cream is phenomenal. There's so many flavors. Oh, I love me some ice cream. Ice cream in a cone on a hot summer's day. Let's fucking go, bro. Like, get yours. Treat yourself. So I just need to give a nod to these women because without them, we might not have the amazingness that we know today. Or it would have just been done way later and not as well. So the story of Nancy Johnson, ice cream innovator. In the mid-1800s, making ice cream was a slow, labor-intensive process that required hours of manual stirring while keeping the mixture cold enough to freeze. It was mostly a luxury enjoyed by the wealthy, as it took a lot of time and skill to get the texture right. And who has time for that? Only a live-in cook, a live-in chef would be able to do that, all right? The average Joe was working too much, had too many children to take care of, a farm to tend to. People didn't have time to make ice cream. So, enter Nancy Maria Donaldson Johnson, also known as Nancy Johnson, an American woman who decided she wanted to change all that. And thank God she did. Nancy. In 1843, Nancy Johnson patented a hand-cranked ice cream freezer, a simple but brilliant device that dramatically speeds up the process and makes smooth, creamy ice cream possible at home. Her machine used a cylinder for the ice cream mixture, a crank to turn the mixture, and an outer container filled with ice and salt to keep it cool. This is pretty much what we still use as homemade ice cream machines. The crank powered an internal paddle called a dasher, which continuously stirred the mixture as it froze, preventing ice crystals from forming and giving the ice cream that smooth texture we all love today. So she was decades ahead of most women in science and invention. At the time, it was rare and incredibly difficult for a woman to hold a patent, but she did. We've already gone over that. A lot of people had their inventions stolen, or they had to publish through someone else's name, or they had to sell for really cheap, and that person with the patent made a lot of money because they were able to get the patent, right? Her invention made ice cream much more accessible and affordable. The laid foundation for modern ice cream makers today. Yeah, as I said, that's pretty much how you make ice cream at home today. But because the world is a poopy head sometimes, like most women inventors in history, Nancy didn't make much money from her idea. She sold the patent to a man named William Young for just $200. He went on manufacturing and marketing it, giving it the name Johnson Patent Ice Cream Freezer, and made a fortune. You motherfucker. Her legacy, even though she didn't profit from it, Nancy's invention transformed ice cream from an elite delicacy to a popular treat. Her hand-crank design was used well into the 20th century and influenced electric models too. I'm so mad for her. She created how we made ice cream at home, and she only got $200 from it. Let's look. $200 in 1850 is worth how much today? $8,242. So she made $8,000. And the other guy didn't do anything. All he did was market it because he had the money to, and he was a man, so he was allowed to. And he made a fortune. Oh, you'll find me angry every day. You'll find me mad every day on behalf of the women all over the world in history and currently. Okay, now maybe Agnes has a better story. Agnes Bertha Marshall, 1855 to 1905 was a, oh wait, how many years is that? 50? 50. She lived 50 years. She was a pioneering English cook, entrepreneur, and inventor, famously known as the Queen of Ices for her groundbreaking work with ice cream in the Victorian era. She was one of the most influential culinary figures of her time, especially in the world of desserts and frozen treats. So why was she called Queen of Ices? Agnes earned the nickname thanks to her innovative recipes and techniques, I can read, for making ice cream sorbets and other frozen confections at a time when such delicacies were expensive and rare. She helped popularize ice cream among the middle class and made it more accessible through her books, inventions, and cooking school. This girl did it all. She was well-rounded. She says, I got you, boo. Whatever you need, I'm there. Agnes wrote 4 best-selling cookbooks, and most famous being The Book of Ices, and this contained 200 recipes for ice cream, sorbet, mousses, and more, far beyond the usual vanilla and strawberry. Those were like the norms? Chocolate wasn't even the norm? Yeah, when did they start creating all of the flavors? I'm intrigued. She even suggested using liquid air for freezing, anticipating modern techniques like flash freezing and liquid nitrogen by over a century. They tried to keep us down, and they just kept breaking those chains and figuring it out. Mrs. A.B. Marshall's Cookery Book was one of her other famous books, a comprehensive household manual that rivaled Mrs. Beeton's in popularity. Like, we know who Mrs. Beeton is? I don't know. She was an inventor as well as a chef. She patented an improved ice cream machine, a hand-cranked freezer that would work more quickly and efficiently, invented a cone-shaped mold decades before the modern ice cream cone became popular. Oh, bless the ice cream cone. And pioneered presentation techniques for desserts that were elegant and elaborate, influencing both chefs and bakers for years to come. In 1883, she opened the Marshall School of Cookery in London, where she taught both amateur cooks and professionals, including men, which was notable for a female instructor at the time. So she was like, come one, come all. I love that. You know nothing or you know it all. You're male or female. I'm going to teach you because eating ice cream is important. Gosh darn it, to the queen of ices. And have you ever noticed? I've seen this meme, so I'm sure you've seen it. Cooking is a woman's job until it becomes professional, and then professional chefs are all men. Not all, but the majority of professional chefs are men. But in the house, the cook is the woman, stereotypically. As soon as there's power, authority, and money involved, it's the man's job. But if you're not getting paid and it's looked down upon, it's the woman's job. Intriguing, is it not? I think cooking is an adult's job. If you have someone that wants to cook for you, fantastic. If neither of you want to cook, figure it out. Not everyone loves to do it. I don't like doing it, but I can and I will. And sometimes I like to cook for Abby because she enjoys when I cook for her, even though she 99% of the time likes to cook for me. It's a give and take. Back to Agnes. She ran a thriving culinary empire, including her cooking school, her cookbooks, a weekly magazine, The Table, kitchen equipment sales, ice cream catering services for events. She was a rare example of a successful female entrepreneur in a male-dominated Victorian business world. Good God, I love this woman. She did it all. She said, I'm busy, and I'm going to stay busy, and you're going to like it, and we do. And we're thankful for her. So the legacy, we're wrapping it up. Agnes B. Marshall died relatively young at 49, but her influence endured. Her contributions to ice cream and culinary education were largely forgotten in the 20th century, but she's since been rediscovered and celebrated as a trailblazer for frozen desserts, food science, and women in business. Modern chefs like Heston Blumenthal have cited her, sorry guys, I suck at reading names, have cited her as a major inspiration, especially for her ideas that predated molecular gastronomy. Gastronomy, that's a word. So these two women, Nancy Johnson and Agnes B. Marshall, also known as the Queen of Ices, had a huge hand in you enjoying that delicious ice cream cone during those hot summer days. Round of applause for those women. I know there's probably a lot of men. Ben and Jerry, phenomenal ice cream men. They do great work. So thankful for them. There's, I'm sure, a lot of great guys, or just a lot of guys who have had their hand in ice cream. I'm just giving a nod to these two special women on Ice Cream Month and Vanilla Ice Cream Day. I need to know, what is the original flavor of ice cream? So the earliest ice cream-like desserts often featured flavors like honey, fruit, and nuts. I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have guessed vanilla. Enjoyed by ancient civilizations like the Chinese and Romans. However, actually, no, that makes more sense. That they're incorporating the foods that they had, they making it fruity. That actually makes way more sense. Why would they just immediately go to vanilla? What a random thing. Okay, however, when considering the modern definition of ice cream, a cream-based dessert, the first flavor is likely chocolate. That's what I said. I thought it would be chocolate. With documented recipes dating back to the 17th century in Italy, vanilla, while incredibly popular today, emerged as a distinct flavor later with early versions of flavoring chocolate drinks. You know what I was randomly craving the other day? Was a chocolate milkshake. Oh, that'll leave you thirsty. Like, I wanted nothing more than a chocolate milkshake. So random. I never crave that. I don't like to crave. My body just naturally craves fruits or salty things or carbs. Ugh. But a chocolate milkshake? The urge has gone away, but it lasted for a solid 3 days to the point I almost cracked. But I knew if I drank an entire milkshake, I would feel like shit the rest of the day. Sorry, something keeps popping up on my computer. With all that sugar and dairy, no, not a chance would my body be okay with that. I don't understand how I used to down that stuff as a kid. I guess I got just used to that feeling. Or as a kid, you can just eat things and it doesn't mess with you the same way. Didn't we learn on this podcast that sugar highs aren't actually a thing? Yeah, your blood sugar can spike. But what gives kids sugar highs and sugar crashes isn't actually the sugar, it's the dyes and the things that they eat. Wait, I want to Google this. I want to make sure I got this right. Are sugar crashes in kids real? No, it's sugar rush. I was saying it's meant to be sugar rush. It's not real. The concept of a sugar rush in children causing hyperactivity is a myth. While it is true that sugar provides energy, scientific evidence shows no direct link between sugar consumption and increased hyperactivity or behavioral problems in children. I remember this. I think, figured this out together on this podcast. They did a study and they did a placebo versus real, and the kids were the same. So here's why the myth persists and what actually happens. Parents who believe in sugar rush phenomenon may be more likely to perceive their children as hyperactive after they consume sugar, even if the sugar didn't cause it. So, sugary treats are often consumed at parties and celebrations, environments where children are naturally more excited and energetic. This excitement can be mistakenly attributed to the sugar itself. There's no high, just energy. Eating sugar does cause a temporary increase in blood glucose, but this is not the same as a sugar rush. The body efficiently regulates blood sugar levels, and any excess is stored or used for energy. The possible sugar crash after the initial energy boost, some children may experience a temporary dip in energy levels, sometimes referred to as the sugar crash, which can make them feel tired or irritable. So while sugar doesn't cause hyperactivity, it's still important to monitor children's sugar intake, and excess in sugar consumption can lead to other health issues like weight gain, tooth decay, and type 2 diabetes. So you can kind of have a sugar crash, it seems, but you don't have a sugar rush. That's crazy. Like, oh, don't give them sugar, they're going to be too hyper. That's not real. And we just keep perpetuating it as it is. As if it is. That's the words. Hold on. Can food dyes cause behavioral problems? I want to Google that. Yes, food dyes, particularly artificial ones, can potentially cause an exasperated behavioral problem in some children. While not all children are affected, research suggests a link between synthetic food dyes and increased hyperactivity, inattentiveness, and impulsivity. So it's not the sugar that's in your mind, or it has to do with the artificial food dyes. So just Give your kids pure chocolate with no dyes in them, and you're good to go. I mean, health-wise, that's probably not the best. But if you're scared of hyperactivity, just stay away from the dyes. The more you learn. So I didn't learn anything this week until I started doing this podcast. And then I learned a lot because this is a conversation. We got to keep it going. We got to keep learning and growing as people. I love it. But there is no evidence that links food dyes to ADHD, just so everyone knows. But red dye 40 and red dye 3, what is the difference? Why are there numbers next to the colors? This is a genuine question. Like red dye 40, red dye 3, red dye, what? Am I supposed to know what that means? I'm going to Google it. What is the number next to food dyes? Yeah. The number next to food dyes, like red dye number 40 or yellow number 5, are color index numbers. They are used to identify specific synthetic food dyes and distinguish between different shades of the same color. So red dye 3 is banned, but red dye 40 isn't? I'm so confused. The FDA approves specific color additives for use in food, and these are given CI numbers. For example, red dye number 40 is a specific approved synthetic dye. So are we just supposed to have this memorized as just human beings walking around the world? Do other countries have more dyes banned than us? No, this is going to give my brain a headache. There's just too much information in the world. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Okay. But I think that's all the time we have for today. Solo episodes are short. I say it every time. There's no banter here. It's just me bantering with myself. But I love you guys. Oh, and I was a guest on a podcast, The Real Reality, with Brandy from Storage Wars. It doesn't get released until next month. They're going to let me know what day, but if you want to see me on another podcast, you can go there. It's The Real Reality. We talk about kind of the cons of being a reality influencer type person, or a celebrity, or a well-known human being. So that was fun. I had fun. She was super, super nice. And yeah, that's all. So I just thought I'd let you guys know. Give that podcast a shout out when it comes out. Should be fun. I really enjoyed my episode. But yeah, other than that, I love you guys. You're wonderful, beautiful people. Leave comments on who you want me to cover next. And that's it. All right. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Rachel Uncensored, the only place on the internet where you can find the uncensored version of me, Rachel Ballinger. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, or follow, or do whatever this platform tells you to do so that you can get notified every time I post a new episode. Love ya!